Good morning, or afternoon now, it's 12:12. From airports to grocery stores, shutdown leaves Americans scrambling. Ooh. I should look to see if my flight's still on for Friday or next week, because I'm flying out November 11th. Anyways, I purposely set my home screen to CNN so I can peruse and see what excites people these days. And it seems like government shutdown is what excites everyone. I don't like to read the news because it's boring. I like to experience it firsthand. Which is why I was telling the story the other day, or earlier. Sorry, I'm continuing with my parable for the homeless parable. Because last we left off, the Catholics have just entered the scene. But before I get to that, this is so funny. Because I went out to eat with my techs yesterday. My old assistants, my old dental assistants. Actually, one of them was my dental assistant. The other one was never my dental assistant, but they were just really good friends to me and Keegan when I got put into the hospital. Like, they were there and like helped support her and were just extraordinary people. So I always like to like catch up with them every once in a while. And it's been a hot minute since we all got together. So when I went there though, there was another faculty there that I used to work with. He's like, "How have you been? This and that." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, so good. I'm so thankful actually that I have my calendar on my phone." I said, without my phone calendar, I would completely lose track of linear time. Like, it's just irrelevant to me. I don't necessarily need to utilize it, so I don't pay attention to it. Just like this morning, I ended up missing the bike ride. Because I ran over, because I realized I set my alarm wrong. I set my alarm for 10:14 or 10:17, and I was supposed to be there at 10. And my clock, I found the clock on my computer. I looked at it because it's set for daylight savings time. I didn't move any of my clocks back. And I saw the time on there and I was like, wait a second, 10:17 sounds, I thought I was supposed to be there at 10. And that's when I ended my first video, because I was like, wait, I'm gonna be late. And I got in my car, I jumped in my car and I started going. But when I tried to pull up the app, like the bicycle app, I went to a stop, I got to pull up the bicycle app that I previously downloaded, had everything logged in. I was trying to create my login or get my login. I was like, why did my login log out? And so I pulled over because I was right down the street from my house still. And I was like, why did my login log out? I set all this up purposely so I could just go into this, because I was renting a bike, because I don't have a bike, for the alumni bike ride. Set it all up, got everything ready, go to log in for it, and I'm like, wait, why is it gone? I couldn't even find the app first off. So I was annoyed, so I had to find the email again, click on it, click on the instructions, click on the link, like download the app. So I clicked on that, and then it takes me to like the app home screen, but then it says open. Instead of get or open, if you already have it, you just can't identify the icon or remember what the app was called, you can just click it and it'll open it. So it opened it for me, and all of a sudden the icon appeared, and I'm like, where were you before? I didn't move you from when you downloaded. So after I scolded the icon, I go to like enter the code and get my ride started or whatever, because you get a discount code for renting a bike. They provided it. And then it's like, log in. I'm like, I did log in. I made an account with you a couple days ago. What do you mean log in? So I go to log in and it won't work. And then I try both. I have two different email addresses. From when I was little and one when my utilized one, my main one. Which, to be quite frank, I use both, but for different things. Anyways, I put in both email addresses. I tried multiple different passwords, and I was like, by this point, it was like 10:30. And I was like, I'm not gonna go to this. I'm gonna go home and finish telling my stories. I'm just gonna make videos all day and tell stories. And I was like, well, since I'm out, because everything was going wrong. As I tried to go to this bike event, everything kept going wrong. And even my Bluetooth, when I tried to hook up my audio Bluetooth to my car to listen to music, it cut out. It disconnected. I'm just like, Machali, what are you doing? Like, stop. And so I was like, oh, fine, I'll go back home and I'll make videos. I won't go to this. And I was already gonna be late anyways, and I didn't want them to wait for me and hold everything up if they're all meeting and supposed to get going bike riding. It was like an 8-mile bike ride up for like at 10. And I didn't want to hold everyone up. I didn't have a helmet. I didn't have anything. none of my app, all the pre-work I had done went away. So I was like, I don't think I should go to this anymore. So I didn't. But I did message the person and I said, hey, I had something come up. I had a prior engagement that I didn't realize. And I did say I got a phone call that reminded me of it. And my phone call reminder was that everything that I was trying to do went wrong. Like everything that I put towards doing to go do this activity went wrong. So I was like, you know what, fine. I'm going to Starbucks. I'm gonna get a London Fog. It's my favorite. And look at this like fun little thing. So I was like, I'm gonna go to Starbucks, but first make him aware that I'm no longer going. So don't hold everyone up. Because I was gonna be late at this point already, because I was like 30 minutes away. The place is 25 minutes away. So I was like, I'm not gonna make them hold them up. I'm just gonna cancel this. So I informed him, went and got my London Fog, and then as I was driving home, anyways, we'll go into it. I have some other things I have to do too, because I had remembered my to-do list. But we're gonna pick back up on the Mormon, not the Mormon, I'm getting my words confused. The homeless parable. Okay, I'm gonna call them philosophers, because I don't like calling them homeless. Because technically they do have a home. Just because it doesn't fit your definition doesn't mean they don't have a home. Everyone technically has a home. Some people's homes are like the planet. Their home are arguably the planet, which you could say everyone's home is the planet because we're all here. Or you can get real specific and be like, well, I live at this address or this home. But for someone to call them or define them as homeless, it's like they do have a home. Their home is planet Earth. Where on planet Earth they desire to call home, that is up to them, not up to you. Okay. Did I read this already? No, I haven't. Okay, 3 days have passed. Again, mind you, I sent my first email. The packages were delivered September 16th, 2025. September 18th, 2025 rolls around at 3:13 p.m. and I decided to email them again, one final time. And this is before I made this public, I said, before I wrote the end of this story. And now fast forward to today, November, whatever date it is in November 8th. Is it November 8th? Yeah. November 8th. I have waited to release this. I gave them that much time. Okay, and I have heard nothing. No email back, nothing from anyone. So I said, good afternoon. Because on their website, went back to their website again to see if I can get any more information on how to get some sort of communication to be like, guys, I don't want to write this how it's currently going. I didn't even post it to my social media. I didn't even tell anyone about this. Because everyone's like, oh, that's so cool that you're doing that homeless thing. Is that real? And I'm like, yeah, man. Like, what did the church do? And I'm just like, ooh, let's see. I'm not sure if my packages have been delivered yet. Right? People were following along. And I didn't tell anyone about this background because I was waiting for their response. So I didn't want to share all this. But now that, I'm done waiting. It's been a couple months. Okay. So I went to their website and I found there's labels listed. The label that they had listed was St. Joseph Old Cathedral, and the other label they had was Maria. So I said, good afternoon, Maria / St. Joseph Old Cathedral. I realize my introduction may have created emotions of fear and confusion. Again, no one likes to be singled out like that, what they perceive as being singled out. I sent this email again in private. I didn't spread it around to anyone. I sent it just to them. And this is the first time I'm sharing it with anyone. I even made videos when I crafted this email. I made a live video, but it's on private back in September. Again, I said I have a lot of videos that I haven't released behind the scenes of certain things of where I'm at right now in this point in time. Because I realized if someone saw that, right, and they went to their packages and looked through their packages to be like, there's no way this is real. And they see it and they're like, oh my gosh, those packages are here. Maybe this is a mistake, and they open up the package. They open up the Amazon box, because again, it's addressed to the church with attention and a name, a label. They didn't recognize the label. They only paid attention to what on the label that they recognized. So easily they could have not perceived what was hidden in plain sight. Again, the other person's name on the label. So they could have even opened those packages and saw inside, coincidentally, the contents of those packages, the pens and notebooks, match the screenshots that I sent them, right? So they might have realized, oh shoot, I botched this learning opportunity, but this person's giving me a second chance to not make anyone aware of this. But they chose to ignore it because they were just scared. How many people have been scared to step up and be like, yeah, I missed that learning opportunity. Sorry. I had some other things going on in my mind, and this is why. I apologize for the misunderstanding that I helped create. There's an easy way to come forward, Anyway, so this is the email I sent because I wanted to help encourage them just in case, because I could perceive perhaps that they may be scrambling behind the scenes being like, oh my gosh, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Maybe if we just don't ignore it, it'll go away. That's not how movement works. Movement doesn't stop. Okay. So I wrote this. I realized my initial introduction may have created emotions of fear and confusion. Again, when people get into fight or flight mode, they get scared. You never know what's going to happen. It's a bag of whimsy. So I wanted to put forth one final attempt to offer understanding of my intentions behind this unique opportunity. Okay. I am unsure if you are aware, but humanity currently is looking for any sources of inspiration to maintain hope and faith. Things are bad in the world. It doesn't take much to perceive how bad things are in the world. Oh, that goes back to my story. At the office, I ran into someone and he was like, oh my gosh, yeah, the government shutdown's still going on. I'm like, oh, that's still a thing. No way. Wow, okay, well, what's going on with that? And so he kind of gave me updates on some of the changes. And I told him too, I was like, I haven't been keeping up with like whatever, things the military's been up to lately. So what's going on? Can you tell me? And so he said, well, actually the Department of War, because it changed from the Department of Defense, or head of Department of Defense. And I was like, oh, it changed to the Department of War? Well, that's fun. Okay, go on. Like, I love these fun whimsy labels. Department of Defense isn't as fun. Department of War sounds cooler. Okay? It invokes more inspiration and invokes more whimsiness. He was like, well, the Department of War, the head of the Department of War, called all the generals and said, basically, it's no more shaving, or shaving waivers are over. The time of sloppiness and being tubby is over. There's going to be no more leaders that are chunky monkeys. Things like that. And I was like, oh, guys, that's so adorable. Like, why would I watch the news when I can hear people tell the stories and they're so whimsical? This is why I don't watch Netflix, because all these reality TV or even the imagination that people are coming up with in these movies aren't as fun as real life. Like, literally. The Department of War, the head of the Department of War, called a bunch of people together that are the leaders. Like, they called all their little soldiers. It's like Toy Story. Woody called all the soldiers and said, guys, no more fat soldiers. We're getting in shape again. We're gonna have sexy bodies so at least we can market a calendar. Do you know how popular calendars are with sexy men or people on it? We can't do that with you guys because you guys have dad bods. Can we please turn our image around so we can sell some calendars or at least look cool in our uniforms? Okay? Okay. This is why the news is so whimsy. I can't watch it because it's so adorable. And then I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. Okay, that's cool. They named it the Department of War. And they called everyone to tell them that we can't be fat anymore. That's sweet. I could see why they would rename it the Department of War. It sounds more serious. Because people weren't taking it seriously before when it was called the Department of Defense. People didn't want to get in shape when it was called the Department of Defense. So now, if we name it the Department of War, people will realize, hey, we need you to not be tubby for a reason. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to give you rawness, authenticity, because war spelled backward is raw. Remember, guys, reflections, look at things beyond the surface layer. The Department of Rawness. Basically, they called the leaders fat. Chubby bunnies. So I feel you. I understand why they did that decision. But again, no one likes to be told that they have a dad bod. No general wants to be like, what do you mean I don't look good in my uniform? I'm sexy and I know it. There's a song about it. Okay? Like, what do you mean I'm not sexy? What do you mean I'm not a good leader? Y'all gave me this big house and give me all this money, and now you're calling me fat. Excuse me? They got tired of utilizing AI to crop the double chins. Okay, sorry, I apologize. I went off track. Okay. This is what I mean by current events though. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. Didn't they rename that body of water that's just south of the land defined as the United States of America? And they're like, oh yeah, it got renamed to the Gulf of America. And I was like, oh, that's so fun. I love when people just make remixes of things. Because to be quite frank, I saw on the news too, people are arguing over maps of the world, about the accuracy of it, and what people want other people to agree on. And I was like, guys, you do all realize this map of the world that you all are looking at and arguing about is all a figment of the imagination. If you really want an accurate map of the world, of the planet, you'll get a satellite imaging where there's no lines present. There's no words written on it. There's no little whimsy titles and labels written on it, drawn on it. Okay. So can we please understand that we're all arguing over pieces of art that humans have created? Because tell me, if you look at a map, like for instance, if an alien species came down here on a whim and had a map, and they went out and they're like, I don't understand any of these symbols or where these lines are. I go out and there's none of these things exist. Or they perceive it and they're like, guys, they're still arguing over the pieces of art they made. Are they still out in their state of irrationality and delusion, arguing over imagination? Because technically, none of those lines exist. You guys are all agreeing to fight over lines and argue over delusion. It's like, let's pick our favorite delusion and let's argue over it. Okay. All right. So this is what I mean by, I am unsure if you are aware, just in case any of those examples weren't good enough. I have plenty more. There was actually a plane crash that just recently happened, coincidentally. That last was service in San Antonio. I was like, y'all, why did you have to have a last stop in San Antonio before you fell out of the sky at terminal velocity and impact into a huge fireball? Doesn't look good. Again, there's chaos and turmoil everywhere. You never know what's gonna happen. All these little whimsy black swan events, I think they're labeled as. Like for instance, humans love glitter. And so currently there's a piece of glitter that's like a glittery rock that's flying through space. I believe they titled it 3I, like the number 3, the letter I dash an atlas. That's a whimsy title. It reminds me of that person that called the threesome. They remixed it to the number 3, and then no space, and then SUM. There's so many ways to serve that. That, like, they could have named 3I Atlas threesome, how they spelled it, the threesome atlas. But instead they chose 3I. 3 imaginations. How about that? Okay, anyways. Yeah, the glitter that's going on in the sky, that's all over the news too, because it's like, what is this glitter doing? It's making new colors. It's like a Crayola crayon box flying through the atmosphere, making whimsy things, and science is so perplexed by it. I wonder where it's coming from. Because again, humans love curiosity, humans love glitter, humans love shiny things. Like that Moana movie, the crab, the shiny crab. That is humanity. Okay, I digress. Actually, that goes into my point, because I am unsure if you are aware, but humanity currently is looking for any sources of inspiration to maintain hope and faith. Currently, that hope and faith, sources of inspiration to maintain that hope and faith, is coming from something glittery that's flying through, that's interstellar. Crayola crayon going through the atmosphere, the upper atmosphere outside of our planet. Okay. Such genuine moments demonstrating the true understanding of these words are challenging to come across. Or such genuine moments demonstrating the true understanding of those words, hope and faith, are challenging to come across, especially inspiration. But fortunately, it's my life's privilege to create opportunities that promote belief in hope and faith instead of violence and chaos. Do we see where I'm going? Do we see where I'm going yet? Are people understanding the full puzzle that I'm trying to assemble here of global peace? I know that concept is very delusional for a lot of people to grasp or even think that's possible. But again, I got so bored with my list of cognitive or things that are defined as impossible that I'm going for this one because, to be quite frank, all of y'all suck at it. So I'm just gonna put this out there because in the future, whenever someone comes across it, they're gonna be like, oh, this was here all along. We just didn't realize it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do more work than I have to because I'm already doing extraordinary work. Okay, anyways, I reasoned this opportunity was low-hanging fruit that the Catholic Church would easily perceive. It would allow for an extraordinary and authentic real-life experience that potentially inspire a massive resurgence towards hope and faith, which I assumed the Catholic Church would also desire. Unfortunately, or fortunately, the finale is temporarily paused because I am awaiting the Church's response. Mind you, this was back September 18th. We are now on November 8th. Okay. Tomorrow will mark the third day from which the Catholic Church was made aware of this modern day parable that is rooted in religious tradition. It will be the final day. I will wait to finish utilizing my words to document the conclusion of this story. I lied because I didn't even give them a final day. I gave them it's November. It's November 8th. I gave them 2 months or however much time that was. I did not just give them a day. I gave them longer than that, okay? Because I understand. Things take times to route up and spread and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, 2 months perhaps should be good enough. No, nothing, okay. I am overweight. Was that September, October, November? Yeah, we're almost 2 months away. I am overwhelmed with grief to write the ending as it currently stands, which is why I am reaching out one last time in hope that my words inspire a different movement. Does everyone understand a theme of what has been occurring in my life? Where everyone that I try to do these things to, right? I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to spread goodness. And to be quite frank, look, even the church benefited from my goodness because who can't use really nice pencils and pens and stuff? They got nice G2, the bougie pens, colorful pens, and bougie notebooks. So you're welcome. If for some reason there is an alternate choice that the Catholic Church wishes to make, the woman who came to collect her packages, and I left her name, her phone number is, and I gave her phone number. She lives adjacent to your worship buildings and would be quite surprised and inspired if she received a phone call stating the packages were found and that a simple misunderstanding occurred. I even provided an excuse that you could utilize. Bro, you could have even texted her and said, apologies, there was a mistake, your packages are on the front of our church. You didn't even have to talk to her. You could have just left them out there. Again, I started ideas. I tried to offer ideas of different things to do besides staying in your shell. Besides responding the same way. Which is again what I've been trying to do even with my ex-fiance and everyone I encounter. Try to make a different decision. Demonstrate different movement patterns because that demonstrates growth, cognitive growth, that you are learning, that you are demonstrating you understand what you have learned. Again, I apologize for introducing myself this way, but even temperance and discernment have thresholds. I also forgot to include one of my favorite photos that I took while exploring OKC. I've attached it for your convenience. And this is the photo I sent. Because, let me zoom in. Oops. This is the photo I sent. How do I open this bigger? Let me just download it. Poor computer's gonna crash. Again, this is from the plaza in the back of their church, their grounds, adjacent to the Oklahoma City Memorial. I sent them this photo to make them be aware, like, guys, this isn't even my doctrine. This is the stuff that you guys preach and share with people to spread hope and cheer. I didn't construct this statue. I didn't write these words. I don't preach the things that you guys do. I just utilize it when I have good ideas. I'm like, you're right. Those are good vibes. I'm gonna ride those good vibes. And when I try to include you on good vibes, you guys run away. You decline your invites. So I sent them this just to make them clear, like, guys, this is on your own grounds. It says, and Jesus wept. This is the statue. And look at that, it's like a little rose. This is the statue that is on your own grounds, that I made you aware of, that I physically visited and spent time there because I was so moved by all the symbolism and what it represented and what that city has suffered, what humanity has suffered. So many places on this planet currently are experiencing catastrophic amounts of violence and chaos, physical violence and chaos. This was an easy story. This was an easy way to spread remarkable and extraordinary good news about how amazing Catholicism is. Because I've experienced Catholicism. I've said extraordinary things about Catholicism. I joke on them because I want to desire them to perceive if they can look past the surface. Right? I even told them, look, I literally said to them, I'm writing a story here. And you guys, do you want to be a part of the story? I'm pausing writing the ending. I'm waiting for you for a different reaction. Nothing ever came. Nothing. And I love Catholicism. I credit them in my diary, my personal diary, which we haven't gotten to that lesson yet, about how they are responsible for modern day science. If Catholicism didn't exist, modern day science would not exist. Period. Ugh. These are easy marketing techniques, guys. These are easy things hidden in plain sight that if you want people to be drawn to your paradigm, you just have to notice these things. And that's why I wanted a meeting. I was trying to get a free trip to the Vatican to talk with the Pope, because how fun would that be? Like, how inspiring could that be? But it seems as if no one wants to hear good news or spread it, because I have so many extraordinary things to say about Catholicism, especially all the things that are hidden in plain sight, about how much they honor humanity. I'm sure they would love to hear all those things because people would find inspiration and be proud to be Catholic again. Same as LDS. What do you think I've been doing with LDS? Why do you think there's been such an outpouring? Because even as an outsider, I can perceive how extraordinary they are, regardless of all the stuff that other people are saying. I can do that with anything and anyone. Okay, I digress. Anyways. I wish I could pull up I just have to tell the story. Because I can't pull up my Instagram. Or maybe I can. Can I? Can I pull up Instagram from a computer? Instagram. Instagram.com? Oh my gosh, Instagram.com's a site. I didn't know that. I thought it was I can log in. Oh shoot, okay. This is exciting, I didn't know this. I don't know my password. Oh no. I have passwords that relate to like whimsical and symbolic things, so sometimes I have to jog my memory. Not now. Oh, it worked! Okay, let's see if I can view my reels, because again, I waited and I let my philosopher friends become aware. And I told them, oh yes, I can view this. Oh my gosh, this is extraordinary. Oh, okay. I turned my profile private. Look, Instagram, you can view this. So these are all my, these are all my stories. So if you go to OKC, that is where there's some things that conclude the parable of this. The visualization that goes along with these words. Dang it, I can't zoom. But I made my profile private Because again, on November 11th, I've made people aware of this. I'm wiping all my followers. I'm going back down to 0 because I only want people to be present in my, I love Instagram the most because it's just so much fun. Because pictures worth 1,000 words and you have so much fun. And I love YouTube because it's fun that you can talk. But I'm wiping my followers because I want it to be a safe space for people. And I'll just read the caption I wrote. Because I wrote this yesterday because I want people to, again, be aware because I recognize people are confused. So this is what I wrote. Ever seen a mismatched giraffe with chicken legs perform a movement defined as a wall walk? Because there's a movement in CrossFit called the wall walk. Well, now you have, and I posted a video of me working out yesterday morning at 0500. You can even observe Yeti getting on me for moving slower than a snail stuck in molasses because she comes over and she's barking at me and like picking at me or trying to get me to play with me. I thought I would have earned a treat for attending the 0500 class instead of the 0600, but no such acknowledgement was given by this morning's furry friend. She definitely trolled me better than any human efforts because, to be quite frank, people have been rather disappointing lately. I usually end up feeling so bad for human trolls that I help increase the impact and depth of their efforts to create a more nuanced insult. And they end up ghosting me. And again, I gave a demonstration yesterday when someone tried to do that. I made a beautiful video on it, okay? You never know what you can find inspiration at. This is what I mean. This was an example of my humor, but also how I actually am in real life, if that's not clear. Sometimes my comedic satire is indistinguishable from existential dad jokes pumped full of more steroids than the MLB league. However, that's what makes it cosmically funny and universally relatable and curious. Hopefully everyone can understand that roid rage isn't enjoyable as perhaps smut and whimsical story time, which is coincidentally why I'm utilizing social media to create something involving the concept of world peace. I'm aware this concept is only read about in books or seen in beauty pageants. However, I have a bit of playing with the impossible. However, when I spelled impossible, look how I spelled impossible. Okay. I have no idea if this zoomed in yet, but I'm possible. It spells impossible, but again, how I wrote it, I have a habit of playing with the impossible. It spells impossible, but when you read it, you see I'm possible. A lot of the items I've posted will be required later. It doesn't bother me no one can perceive the full picture yet, or that no one views these, because again, it's gonna be required for later. I'm building something. Because as the designer of my goals, I know where to put the pieces I create. Ugh. Which brings me to a reminder. I will be removing all my followers on November 11th. I've already set my profile to private because, to be quite frank, I've given enough freebies. The logic behind this next step of my design is as follows, and I was trying to list them out. This will create an easy way for someone to demonstrate to themselves that overcoming their fear doesn't require drastic action. It can be as simple as clicking a button. Right? Because it's very obvious, people that have been following me, they're seeing what I'm posting and they're seeing things I'm doing. And I'm letting them all be aware, hey, November 11th, I'm wiping everyone clean because you guys need to start overcoming your fears and demonstrating it to yourselves. Because I'm not perceiving it. And so I need some more engagement to perceive how much more, like where everyone's at. So I can tailor my lesson plans. Which, to be quite frank, I'm not tailoring anything. I just go wherever my curiosity goes and I make videos about it. But by removing all my followers, I am removing my followers. I'm just making them unfollow me. I'm not changing anyone that I follow because I love following people. I don't care. But I'm removing everyone that follows me. So I'm going to go down to 0. And my profile's on private. I don't care how long my if that stays 0 for for the rest of my life, I don't care because I'm the one that doesn't need help. I rely on myself. I do everything by myself already. I believe in myself. I generate unconditional love for myself already. I understand things past the surface layer. I don't need anyone to perceive what I publish in order to have an extraordinary time doing it. Sometimes it gets bumming and annoying that people can't perceive it, but I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't impact how I live my life. So I want people to demonstrate to themselves that, hey, I am able to do this. I can overcome perceptions of what I think I am shameful or embarrassed of. So I let people be aware that removing you is not personal. That's why I'm removing everyone. Because I want you to demonstrate to yourself that you are capable of overcoming your fears. And the simplest way to do that, how much easier can it be to literally just click a button? Okay. It is much better than overcoming your fears in a more catastrophic manner. Let's start simple here. Click a button. And I said this, and then also, this enables those who are ready for exposure to more explanation and nuances of cognition to have a safe space where open vulnerability is embraced. I want them to have an environment, right? Because I made it clear, only the people that are following me are people that are willing and ready for open vulnerability, to start facing their fears, to start commenting, to start sharing their thoughts, to start sharing anything that they have in mind. I want to create a safe space for that. And if me going private and then having and talking about this, they will feel like, this is a place that's more comfortable, and all the people that are following are people that chose to be here. People that chose to be here and view this content. Okay, I like this, I'm gonna do this. And then it says, I ran out of characters. Oh well, because I did, I couldn't make any more explanations. And then people actually commented. And I said, one person commented saying, I miss you. I can't say I understand all what you're putting out there, but I try. I'm still trying to figure out my purpose. Haven't found a good nursing job yet. What are you doing job-wise? Still practicing dental. Someone else responded, Yeti is seriously too cute, the most playful pup, too adorable. Again, I'm trying to create a space, right? I already invoked that. And those people jumped out and commented being like, hey, we're feeling these vibes. We're ready to be vulnerable with you. Like, that's why we're gonna comment. They're probably gonna, be around after I do the great purge, the great reset of my followers. Because again, I want to create a safe environment for others. I have no problem being vulnerable. It's others that are scared. And so that's why I made my profile private and made the announcement, and doing it here too. So people know where to go for a place, an environment where no matter what is said, it is going to be safe. It is going to be a learning environment. This is a place where learning oopsies and doing that is fine. I will say some people have reached out to me about things, and on the surface it sounds like some people have been carrying some burdens for a hot minute, like some serious burdens, hot minute, that they feel shamed or embarrassed about or guilt about. And I'm so thankful that those people are brave enough to share those with me, because I talk to them and I'm like, because I tell them what I perceive and how extraordinary it is. So that's all I'm trying to do. Let's see if I can. So the conclusion, right? I got so mad. So ended up, never heard anything back from that church. Never heard anything back. Oh yes, it's loaded. Ha. I got so upset. I got so livid, irritated that the Catholic Church ruined my story time, that I went on Amazon. I'm trying to click through. Look, I even wrote, okay, I will show you guys. I'll start from after I left OKC. So, this is on my Instagram story. Oops, it automatically goes. Oh, I don't know how to pause it. Oh, here we go. I was laying in bed about to watch Limitless, and I said, I just got the most unexpected phone call. The homeless called to make sure I made it home safely. I am absolutely speechless. Okay. Then I had a screenshot, estimated delivery September 16th. Again, this occurred 8 weeks ago. Oops. Hopefully this is showing. I have no idea if this is showing. I said, and I don't know if my sound is clear. Let me move my hand. Special shout out to St. Joseph Old Cathedral for becoming the post office for my philosopher friends. I also apologize for not giving you any heads up for utilizing you as a post office for the homeless. Again, that would ruin the authenticness and genuineness of the story. They're Catholic, they shouldn't mind. Again, Catholicism, along with every religion, preaches and teaches that they love the homeless. They love helping those in need. So I figured they didn't have to spend a dime. They didn't have to do anything. Then I text my homeless friend this. To be honest, TBH, to be honest, I'm disappointed. I even feel like I have to send her this warning. Because I wrote, hopefully this is clear. If the church, for any reason, gives you any issues, please make me aware because I will take care of that. Okay. TBH, how many people question why a homeless person has a cell phone? The disappointment continues. Because I guarantee you that thought occurred. And to someone viewing this. Then, a week passed or whatever, because I said I was giving them a week. I texted my homeless friend, and I said, I'm giving them a week. My hand's getting tired of holding this. I said, the Catholic Church angered me so much that I bought more supplies for my friends, except this time I changed the address. And if you can see here, I bought erasers, I bought color pencils, I bought obviously all the same things again, and the journals weren't on sale this time, so I had to purchase them full price. So I was a little livid, right? Take my Monopoly money. But Amazon was like, listen, if you're gonna use our services, we're gonna have to up the prices. We're not as cheap as Catholicism, okay? I said, fine, I'll pay more. But I was so livid, I was so perturbed by what the Catholicism, that Catholic Church did, that I bought more supplies. I was so mad. And so when I did that, except I changed the address, I was like, you know what? When I Googled it, the hot dog place where the old business where they used to stay, or they live in front of, that used to be there, that building has an address. It still exists. And I was like, I'm using this address. If it's listed, it's a public available address, then that means Amazon can deliver to it. So that's what I did. That's the address I utilized. Okay, then this next, I need to pull up my Amazon because you can't really see the full thing on the, well, I'll just show my story. If people desire to see what the full message I wrote, I can pull up my Amazon account. Because the delivery instructions, I put a screenshot of this and posted it to my Instagram story. I said, okay, Amazon, it's your turn to enter the spotlight. And I said, I forgot what I wrote in front of it, but I said, in front of this address, and are often labeled as homeless. Don't be afraid, they're very friendly. Please don't disappoint me like the church next door. Because again, I'm aware, right? Any delivery person's gonna be like, this address is like a business that doesn't exist anymore. It's closed down however long ago. So I made sure to give those delivery instructions so they're aware that yes, I did not make a mistake. I do indeed want you to deliver this to the humans that live here. This is their home. So that is why I screenshotted that and wrote that. Okay, next. Finally, because this is the best feature about Amazon. You can literally track live. You can track live follow the little dots around, and there's like the chili dog stand where they used to be, and the St. Joseph Old Cathedral right here, right? So much anticipation for the conclusion of this story, out for delivery. Will Amazon succeed in delivering packages to the city's philosophers? Because y'all, by this point, people were following along. People would stop me at the gym and be like, I love your homeless parable. Like, oh my gosh, like keep posting, it's so much fun. I was like, isn't it fun? I have no idea what's gonna happen. So, I remember this night when it was occurring. I was so excited. And so then the next story, it says, you're the next stop. Look at this cute little emoji, and this is the address. You're the next stop. Look how close he is. I said, practicing my stalking skills. You never know when they'll come in handy. Or I'm just anxious, whatever. Right? Tell me I'm not embodying the over-nurturing mom that is watching to make sure her package gets delivered to her friends or her kids. Am I not embodying Catholicism here? Being like the over-nurturing mom, being like, make sure you're careful, make sure you have everything packed, don't forget your bubble wrap. Like watching every little move, just sitting there watching it. Okay. This was me. This was me during this. I was so concerned about my package, my friends. Then this occurred. The bus, look at, the bus was right here. Do you see how close the proximity is? And then all of a sudden, I look back, because it had been a couple, like a couple minutes. Why did the bus go farther? I said, bus, where are you going? You went the opposite direction. And I was like, oh. I said, oh, Amazon is on the fun, because again, I'm aware this was a very atypical delivery. So I was aware that the person was kind of scared. They were getting confused and scared perhaps. And I said, I feel like I'm playing a game of chess at this point, bus to L2, because they moved further away from where they were supposed to go. And again, the reason for that was because I was aware of how unusual this was. And at this time, I was out calling and I was texting, giving updates to my friends, because I was like, the delivery man's here, and I was sending her these screenshots, being like, he's supposed to be there, and she called me, being like, I don't see, like, I saw an Amazon truck, but they didn't stop, or they didn't come out. And I was like, no, they're gonna come around, I promise you, they're gonna come around. It's like, he's confused. And so when she called me and was like, I saw the Amazon delivery, but he kept going. And so I wrote this, I gave an update. I was like, confirm, the Amazon driver is 100% scared and confused. I honestly didn't realize I'd cause this much chaos. Didn't realize it would be this hard to spread good news. But it makes for the best story, y'all. Because can you imagine this Amazon driver, probably someone that's just doing this as a transitional job, not in it for retirement, right? Not doing that. Although I will say Amazon has some extraordinary benefits, because I've been familiar with people that have told me stories about working with Amazon, and some of the opportunities they have are quite extraordinary. So I have no problem paying Amazon for my Amazon Prime membership based on my personal experiences and things that I have perceived. So then all of a sudden I checked again, because after I got off the phone with her, this is what it updated to. This is what Amazon updated to. All of a sudden, he's now past where he was supposed to go, and the address, this is updated to, the driver has to make a few more deliveries on the way to the address. So it went, he's in existential crisis, what have I done, right? He went from you're the next stop, to just kidding, the driver has to make a few more deliveries on the way to the address. DJ Roomba. No, sir. Okay. He's trying to signal, wrap up your video. Okay, fine. I know I'm getting long-winded. I love telling a story. So I was like, oh shoot, he's scared. What can I do? I have no way to contact Amazon. I was trying to look to see if I can contact them or update the address or like give encouragement. Like, you got it. Like, you can do it. Don't abandon hope. So then I went on Uber Eats. Like, what can I do? Maybe I'll go buy hot dogs. Maybe I'll get hot dogs. I'll get hot dogs delivered somewhere that sells hot dogs delivered, so I can pay homage to Amazon, their delivery. Like, I will get something delivered and show how successful it is for like a hot dog to be delivered, so they can deliver to this old hot dog place. Oh, right? I was trying to pass off encouragement by showing action, showing movement, even though, again, I'm not even there. I couldn't even contact them. So I wrote, I even ordered hot dogs from a local place to bring extra luck from the closed down restaurant where they stay. Right? And I accidentally, because they had a buy one, get one free, and I didn't realize it. Or I didn't realize it about the French fries, because I wanted French fries too. I was like, well, since I'm going to order this, because they had like really bougie, this place in San Antonio, I guess they're in Austin, Dallas, and Houston. But they had some really good hot dog remixes, like loaded hot dogs, good stuff, lots of sodium, like more than an olive, I would imagine, or a can of salt. It was pretty salty, however, because they're mad dogs. So I accidentally ordered more than I realized. I got extra French fries because I thought my meal, because I wanted French fries, I didn't realize my meal came with French fries. So I got 2 meals because it was buy one, get one free. So I forgot which one I ordered. And then I ended up having three trays of giant French fries. And I was like, oh, this is a lot of food. I did not realize I did this. But it was okay. It was for a good cause. And then, all of a sudden, right, I'm sitting there eating, and I'm like, has the guy messaged you? Has anything occurred? I need updates. And then I was like, they called me like, we got it. We got him. And so I was like, can you send me a picture? And so they sent me this picture. Yay, mission accomplished. I said Amazon Prime just achieved GOAT status. Mission accomplished. Ugh. Oh, that's the bait. That was something else. So that's the conclusion of the homeless story, about my whole journey with the homeless. Tell me that is not fun. Right? So now they have actually there was more that occurred. It was so cool, actually. Because once that happens, they were like, one of them, Aaron the rapper, was like, hey, I'm writing new songs, I'm using it, thank you so much. Like, so they were so excited about it. And even like Thing 2, my friend Alicia, okay, I'll call her Thing 2, Alicia, she was telling me she was writing in her diary every day. She's like using it every day. Because like a month ago, she called me. There was a couple missed calls in a row, and I was at the gym, so I didn't answer. And I called her. I was like, hey, what's up? Like, are you okay? Like, how's it going? Like, how's everything going there? Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I need help. And I said, what's up? I said, I need help with the phone because I broke my phone. My phone broke. And I said, oh no, what happened? She's like, I got into an argument. And I said, oh, it happens to the best of us. Or I was like, are you okay? Is everyone okay? I said, yeah, like everyone's fine, but my phone dropped, so my screen's broken. And I said, okay, what would you like to be done about this? He says, can you help me with purchasing it? And I said, well, I have to think about that because that would require a lot of effort on my part. Let me think about it more. But I do want to help you, but let me think about it, okay? I'm willing to help you. But work out the details. Can you work out like what phone you want, what blah, 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 the price? Can you send me those links and stuff? You do that research and I'll think about how we can go about doing this, okay? And she was like, yeah, got it. So I went to the gym and I thought about it, or I forgot what I did. I think I did yard work to think about it, or just, ponder it over a little bit before I thought of something. And I was like, you know what? I am going to help her with it. I'll help her get a phone. That's fine. I don't know how much it's going to be, or repair a screen. Because I have a journal entry, actually, or I write about that, where I personally cracked my own screen, and it cost me, it was like, I forgot. I saved the receipt. It was like $500 or something. It was something expensive. $400, $500. It might have been more. So I was aware it might have been expensive. It was going to be expensive. And I thought about it, and I was like, let me make a deal with her. Let me see if I can do this where if she journals or does something, then if she writes in her journal every day, then I'll pay for it or whatever. And I thought about whether I should ask for proof of it, to show that she's doing it, or things like that, if I'm going to put forth money and effort towards helping her. And the more I thought about it, I was like, I'm not going to hold her accountable, because it's up to her. She has to hold herself accountable. I can't hold her accountable. If I'm going to help her, that's my decision. However, how I choose to help her and how she chooses to help herself is up to her. But I want to show her that when she's hurting or needs help, that there are people that are willing to support her if she is willing to put in the work. And so I talked about it more, and I called her back and I'm like, hey, I'm willing to do this and repair this only if you put in the work. You have to use your journal diary, okay? She's like, oh, I use it every day. And she corrected me. She's like, I write in it every day. And I was like, oh, do you really? She's like, yeah, I write in it every day. I write in it all the time. I said, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to pay for it. So research it further, because she found the store, she found the link and everything, sent me everything, did the footwork, and the phone was like, it was like some burner phone. It was like $300. She's like, this is the expensive one. Or this is the phone. Is this okay? It's kind of expensive. And it was like $300. And I went there, or the link, and I was just like, it was like the lowest grade storage. And I was clicking through the options, even on the storage of that phone, that's capacity. And I'm just like, dude, having no storage sucks. I was like, are you sure you want this model? Like, I'll help you with this. I'm going to help you with this once. Just because I was proud of her for demonstrating that she was doing putting forth effort towards herself. And that was the model she wanted. I said, okay, well, is this the storage amount you want? Because there's different options for the different storage. Is that what you desire? She gave me the address, gave me the store, the delivery, and everything. Did the research, be like, hey, I call them or talk to them. They said they can have it delivered by this evening if you do this store or whatever, this location on the Amazon app or whatever. And I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. Perfect. And then I upgraded her to like the 125 gigabyte or whatever phone it was. So I was like, I'm not getting you a storage that you can store like 2 photos on. That's worth nothing. Like, we can't do anything with that. That's a bummer. So let me at least get you the highest storage amount. So I did it all, purchased it, but then my Amazon or my American Express credit card for some reason blocked it. It went through. I sent her the screenshot of the order, and I was like, hey, it should be coming. It said, like, for some reason, because it was supposed to be delivered same day. Everything all checked out, got the confirmation, sent it to her, and then I checked my email. And then in my email, it showed there's a pause. This account there's a hold on this for 7 days due to your credit card. Where the order has been canceled. Here's why. There's a hold on it, because I was aware, right? All the address, everything where it was being delivered to was not my name at all. It was her name. But then all the billing and all the credit card information was under my name in a completely different state. So it looked fraudulent. And so my card naturally flagged. I love American Express. I love them. I have a Platinum, American Express Platinum. I use them like a champ. I love them so much. And they're actually unaware that I'm out of the military now, because the military get free membership, because the membership's expensive. But I decided once they find out that I will still pay for the membership, because I love them so much, because of how much quality service and things that they have done, as far as my experiences with them. Although I will say one time I had a problem, but I will not talk about that. It was with a partnership with Delta, and it made me more disappointed that it was Delta, because I talk so highly of Delta. So I was surprised that this type of experience occurred with Delta and American Express at that time when I was traveling, coincidentally. Okay, anyways, I digress. American Express paused it. They put a hold, and Walmart said, hey, your credit card, we canceled this because your credit card put a 7-day hold on it. So after 7 days, if you desire or whatever to get this released, it'll go through. But the way the email was worded, it made it sound like, it was confusing, because it said your order's canceled, but then it says your order's paused for 7 days. And so I took a screenshot and sent it to her, Alicia, and said, hey, for some reason, my credit card put this on pause. And it's paused or perhaps canceled, I'm unsure, for 7 days. So you're gonna have to wait 7 days to receive this. And I called her to explain it, because she was confused a little bit. And so I said, hey, I have no idea what occurred. The phone's been purchased, but it's not coming today. She's like, well, how long? When will it come? And I said, it says 7 days. And it was fun. I was like, her phone was working. It was just a cracked screen or whatever. And that was fine. I thought that was odd, because I agreed to that, you know. And usually when things are meant to go through, they go through. But so this holdup, which made sense on the surface, right? It looks like fraud, things like that, didn't go through for some reason. So I said, okay, let me figure out what's going on here. Because I've made some very large purchases with my credit card online, and I haven't had that occur. So I thought about it more, and I was like, hey, whatever. I didn't take any action. I went to Amazon. I kind of looked at my credit card, and I decided not to contact my credit card. I said, let me wait, because usually I would do it right away, immediately, and call my credit card and be like, hey, this is a mistake. Hey, can you authorize this charge? But I didn't feel like doing that, because I said this occurred for a reason. Because normally when I do this doesn't happen. This occurred for a reason. Let me just wait it out and see what happens. It's 7 days. Let's see what happens after 7 days. She can wait 7 days. If I can wait 7 days, she can wait 7 days. If I can wait way longer than 7 days, she can wait 7 days. So let's play this out. Let's see what happens. Before those 7 days expired, I realized what was happening and why it got canceled. Because within those 7 days, she actually called me again and said, I need help. I said, okay, what do you need help with? What happened this time? I said, I'm in the hospital. I'm in the emergency room. And then I saw her. She's like, I'm in the emergency room. I need help. And I said, oh my God, actually, oof. she might have texted me from a different number because it was a different phone. And that actually perturbed me. Because I was like, you're texting me from a different phone. Like, where did this phone come from? And it was like, it was a number that she was texting and utilizing. It could have been it could have been someone else's phone. Who knows? But it seemed like it was a new phone that she got. She's like, hey, this is, oh man, did I save it? Anyways, making assumptions. I don't know. Text me from a different number. She's like, hey, I need help. I don't have any money. I'm in the hospital and my potassium was low. Or I'm in the ER. And I called her because I was like, hey, are you okay? She's like, no, my potassium's low. And I'm like, but I'm in the ER and they're helping me. They're taking care of me. I said, oh, thank goodness. I'm glad you're okay. You're doing safe, like physically fine. She's like, but I don't have any money to get back to the bus stop. I was wondering if you could help me out with it. And I said, Alicia, I said, what about your baby daddy? Where's he at? Can he help give you money? Because again, she followed this person out there. And this was over text, after we called or whatever. I made sure she was fine. I called her, or I talked to her on the phone, and I said, after she said, like, where's your baby dad or whatever, she said he spent all the money. He didn't have any. I don't have any. He spent it all. And I said, Alicia, I can't give you money. I can't help you. It would be causing you more harm than good if I helped you out right now. And she's like, but please, I need just like a little bit. I just need to get back home. I have no way to get there. I don't know how to get back home. And it was hard. It was hard, y'all, but I realized the pattern, right? She had already called me when her phone, the glass breakage, and now she's calling me again. She's starting to rely on me for her support. I was becoming her source of support and belief and hope and inspiration. And that was misplaced. It needed to go back to her. She needed to think that about herself. And so because of that, I had to make the decision, right? I had to be the villain and tell her that I could not help her. I said, I'm not going to give you money. You are very capable. I said, you're a very strong person. And if I give you money right now to help you get back, even an Uber or whatever, it's gonna cause more harm than good, because I'm enabling you to not believe in yourself. And you're extraordinary. So I'm not gonna give you the money. And she even texted me and was like, please, just like, I just really need help. This is a bad spot. And I said, I'm aware, but I can't do this for you. I'm causing more harm than good. I said, you're doing extraordinary. You cannot depend on me, because I will not always be here. Okay? You have to learn to depend on yourself. And that was the last time I heard from her. I've talked to her. And I do need to reach out to her and see how she's doing. Because it grieves me. Because again, and what grieves me even more, because one time when I called, when we were dealing with the Catholic Church and all that, getting their stuff, she called me bestie on the phone, because that was her way. Because when we were trying to get thing one, when we went on our car adventure, the Dr. Seuss adventure, whenever she would call her bestie or her friend, she called her bestie. That was her way of symbolizing someone that was meaningful, or a place of solace and comfort for her inner circle. And one time when she answered the phone, she called me bestie. She did it once. It's like, hey, bestie. And I paused for a second, because it took me back. I was so honored that she did that. She called me that. And then after she called me that, right, after all this, the Catholic Church thing resolved, and they got all our pens and pencils, but when she was in the hospital, I had to turn her away. I had to take away my support in the way that she desired. And I'm sure that hurt her. I'm sure she's gone through a lot in her life, and she again felt rejected and forsaken and abandoned. So I don't know how else to do it. So I need to contact her and make sure she's doing okay, because I don't want her to feel that way. Which brings me to my next parable about a scammer that I'm friends with now. How to scam a scammer. That will be the next story time that I'm going to go into. But that's the end. That's the updates of the homeless parable. So that's the updates of my friends that are in OKC. Aaron and Alicia are the two ones I mainly text all the time. And Aaron, for some reason, will message me pretty frequently, actually, and update me because he gets new phone numbers. What happened to your phone? You have so many new phone numbers. I have so many numbers saved in my phone for him because I always update it to make sure that I'm aware that he passed on his different number. But I'm gonna send him a text after this actually because I'm thinking about them and hope they're doing okay. So that's the update with that. So I'll make another story now because I have an update of my scammer parable.